Hi everybody. I'm actually at home this weekend. Well, not all weekend, but just today, Saturday. I'm going to do a little bit more work on the XR100. I finally got the spray gun that I needed to do the job, and it's a 4-day long weekend for me with Melbourne Cup on the Tuesday. So decided I'm going to sort of spread that time out over a couple of things and try and at least tie up some loose ends on different projects. So started to dismantle the bike, just taking the seat off and the rear fender. Scratched it up a little bit, not much I can do about it though. So yeah, the next step is to take the battery out and this aluminium plate, and then this obviously come off easier than I thought. So yeah, I'll take all this wiring off and the rear shocks and dismantle the swing arms, and then we'll start painting, or we'll get the paint, we'll get everything ready, and then we'll, start painting. I've just started spraying everything. First coat, so just a cover coat at the moment. I'm not going on, not putting it on too thick. I don't want runs. So as you can see, there's the swing arms. So that's got its first coat on, along with the tank, side cover, rear fender, other side cover, and the frame. The frame tends to not look as bright because it had a black undercoat on it. So I think it's going to need another coat over it to really make the red pop on it. Same with the swing arms. The reason the tank and the plates look shinier is because these weren't actually painted in black. These were done with a grey undercoat, plastic undercoat, and plastic high fill. So it's only covering grey and yellow, not black. So that's why the plastics look a little bit brighter. But so far it's come out good. You can still see it's patchy, but I'm just going to take my time on it and not get any runs on it. So same here. It's you see little patchy bits. It's a bit hard on this side. I'm getting a lot of shadow off the shade sail, but I think I've pretty much covered the lot. I actually started out, I did the frame first, and then with the plastics I started on the rear fender, because I figured, well, if I fuck it up, I can easily just scuff that back. It looks like there might have been, I did wipe everything down with prep wash. I got me wax and grease remover there, but for some reason I got a couple of little dots there, like it was dirty, right on the sort of top of the guard. So I'll just wait and see how that goes and dries off, and I might have to just maybe scuff it back a little bit with some 1600 or something like that, 1200, and then just give it a coat. It's nothing though, you guys all know that it's just a cheap ass bike made up of bits and pieces, but I'll get it looking good. Most important thing is I got no runs yet. So yeah, it's all going good. Obviously all the undersides of each plastic panel, including the tank, needs to be painted. So I think this is going to take me maybe 3 or 4 days to get the lot done, because this being an enamel takes quite a while to dry. I'm quite lucky today. We've got good weather conditions. It's something like 21 degrees today, 22 degrees. Sun's out and a mild breeze, so that'll help dry out most of the dry the paint off. And tonight, when I can actually handle it, and I don't leave fingerprints on it, I'm just going to move it into my back room, where it's been stored for the last 6 months or 7 months since I started the project. Every time I finished a part, I took it inside to keep it out of out of harm's way. So yeah, not much more to tell you than that. Now it's just a waiting game, waiting for everything to sort of dry, and yeah, I'll when we get a chance to when I get a chance to do a second coat on it, I'll film a little bit more. Hi everyone, it's the following day. I've done a second coat on everything. Only just finished 10 minutes ago. So yeah, I got probably one more coat to go. Not necessarily on the frame, but the plastic parts. You can still see a little bit of the in patches the high fill. But the frame's come up the way I suspected it would with the second coat. That red's really starting to pop now. It's not that sort of dark red anymore. So it's come up nice. The only balls up I made was when I referenced the photographs of what an XR100's paint scheme was, and I've looked at these photos hundreds of times, and I don't know, I just got a brain fade, or I just carried away with a spray gun. But I ended up painting the kickstand and the foot pegs red. Personally, I don't mind it, and it might look alright. So yeah, you know, I painted the brake as well. So normally the brake pedal would be black, the foot stands would be black, and the actual kickstand would be black. But I've done it red. If I don't like it, I can always sand those things back and go over it with black. I don't have to strip it back to the bare metal. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that's come out. Having some issues with bugs sticking on there, but I had some sticking onto the parts yesterday. And this morning, before I started, I just tried to pick the bug off, and they just fell off. They just fell off with no problems. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully the light's not too bad. And there's a side cover. I've got like 3 little bits of contaminant there. Not even sure if they're bugs, but you can still see the high fill in spots. So this will need another coat. I didn't want to go too thick because I didn't want to get runs. That back guard turned out really good, where I had those couple of dots where it looked like I had some contamination. With a second coat, it covered it, but down here you can still see the undercoat through the red, and this one just around here you can still see undercoat through that as well, and I think there's a little bit here. So a third coat, and all the top surfaces will be done. Still got to do the undersides, but that's nothing. The undersides can be done in one coat, because I am starting to run a little bit short on paint. I'm sort of I'm down to about quarter of a 1 litre can. So I've got about 250 mils left out of that little can. So I'm pushing it at the moment. I'm trying to be sparing with it. Front number plate cover. It's had a second coat. Pretty much the same deal. There's just a couple of little spots where you can see a little tinge of the black from the actual plate popping through. You won't see it in obviously this footage, but I managed to actually give this one a coat on the back today, and yeah, it's not too bad. There's a dark spot here. It's not actually a shadow. It's actually obviously a spot that needs a second coat, and this band that goes over the handlebars, that will definitely need a second coat top and bottom, because I was originally hanging it from this and not hanging it from a hook. I didn't have that hook available yesterday. I was using it for something else. Tank, let me put some lights on, guys, so just bear with me for a second. I don't know how much difference it's going to make, but tank's had a second coat. As you can see, got a couple of little bugs there. but I'm going to wait till it's dry, and then they'll just pick off. And when I put the final coat over it, you won't even know. I managed to get the underside of the tank sprayed, but as you can see, we've got some of the primer still evident there. So another coat on the underbelly of that will pretty much seal all that up. And the swing arms have had a second coat and probably don't need another coat. They've come up really good, really smooth. So yeah, what remaining paint I've got should be enough to see me out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go and get another can mixed. I'm lucky that the guy that mixed it actually, he colour matched one of the fenders, the front fender that I bought on eBay, and he's actually written down the code on the side of the can. Put the code, and then there was something that he added to it. He's written that down in pen, U for undercoat. So whatever that means, I don't know what that means in paint terminology, but obviously they do. So if I need to colour match this again, I can. So yeah, it's a good one. You know, it's ultra premium, high gloss enamel, interior and exterior. It's classed as a strong base. And yeah, that was $40 for that 1 litre can. So if it doesn't do the job, I'll be very surprised. There we go.